Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another What I've Been Eating Lately video, where I show you what I've been eating lately. That may include some recipes that I've tried, some random food combinations that I came up with and wanted to see how they came out, or some products that I've tried and taste testing for you on the screen. Right now, I'm making those baked pumpkin oats that I made in my last video again, but because I wanted to try something different this time, and also because I wanted to make some for my mom because I stole her oats in the first place. So I was like, I stole your oats, but here, look, I made you this little thing. You know, I love this recipe, and I wanted to double the recipe, and I checked how much oats I had, and I had perfect amount of oats, so I was like, awesome, let's go. And then I realized halfway through that I only had half the amount of pumpkin. I didn't even check how much pumpkin I had. So I filled up the other half with applesauce, which, you know, ended up perfect. I just so happened to have the perfect amount of applesauce in the pantry, so it's all good. And obviously pumpkin apple works perfectly great together. Apple cinnamon is also very fall. And I love baked oats because you can just make whatever flavor you want, put whatever you want in it. You can put all the seeds or nuts or fruits or veggies you want in it, and then it's like a meal prep, you know, for breakfast and snacks for the week. You can make it sweet, you can make it not as sweet, you can make it savory. I've never done that, but I'm sure you can. Anyways, on the top I put a bunch of crushed up pecans that I crushed up with my hands, and then I sprinkled some salt on top of those and sprayed some oil on top of them, because then they can kind of like toast the pecans more in the oven while they're baking, you know, because they're on the top and they're like oiled and salted up, so they're like little toasted, crispy, salty pecans, and it's delicious. And then this is the thing that I wanted to try differently this time. The last time I just mixed in some white chocolate chips. The recipe actually uses some chocolate chips in there, but I only had white chocolate chips, and I was like, you know what, that actually sounds great, because this pumpkin baked oats kind of reminds me of like a carrot cake type of thing, which, you know, usually has frosting on it, and I was like, white chocolate is basically like frosting, so why don't I melt some white chocolate chips and put them on top of it? But then it was like super thick, like way thicker than I thought it would be when I was melting them, like not drizzleable at all. So I started adding some coconut oil to it, because I know a lot of people do that to make chocolate more drizzly, but it was still like I was gonna have to add so much coconut oil to make it drizzleable, and I didn't want to do that. So I added a little bit of water, and I was scared that it would really mess it up, because I was like, this just doesn't seem right, and it kind of did mess it up. It kind of made the consistency look weird, but it ended up being fine because I put a bunch of cinnamon on top, so you can't even tell. And also, after you put it in the fridge, I feel like it becomes, like, once it solidifies, becomes normal again. I don't know. Anyways, delicious recipe, beautiful. I would recommend. But before we get on with the rest of the video, I want to take a minute to talk about today's sponsor, which is Javi Coffee, which is basically a coffee concentrate where you can get up to 30 servings out of one tiny little glass bottle. And to show you how easy it is and quick it is to make a cup of Javi coffee, I'm going to demonstrate for you right now. I just got my ice in my cup and then some milk in my cup, and then I mix in 1 to 2 teaspoons of Javi coffee concentrate. I'm using 2 because I like it strong. I also added a little bit of maple syrup in there for sweetener, and then you just stir it up real good. Make sure you check the bottom of the cup to make sure it's mixed in all the way, and that's literally it. And it's so good. It's so much better than any other instant coffee type product I've ever tried, for sure. They come in many flavors. Right now I'm drinking the mocha one, which is really good. It's perfect for anyone who's like on the go a lot, or if you're lazy like me. Their coffee is ethically sourced, it's all dairy free and no added sugars and non-GMO. So if you want to try out Javi coffee for yourself, you can go to www.buy.javicoffee.com/Emily Ewing, or click the link in the description and you can get 25% off using my code Emily Ewing. And now let's get back to the rest of the video. Another thing that I had this week, I tried these Follow Your Heart Super Max. At Target, they had a carrot flavor and a cauliflower flavor. And, you know, they seem like they're probably for kids, like to get your kids to eat more vegetables, but they put it in mac and cheese form, so it's like more appetizing, you know? But the noodles seem the same as like the Annie's vegan mac and cheese, or, you know, most mac and cheese, box mac and cheese, I guess. But the sauce, right away when you open open it, it just smells like soup. Like it just got a whiff of like carrot and tomato soup. It smells good, but that's just what it tastes like. It tastes like you mixed some boxed mac and cheese noodles in a good concentrated soup broth. You know, it also says on the box that you can add like butter to it to make it more rich or whatever, which I usually do with the Annie's mac and cheese, and I like it that way. But I didn't really think I needed to add any butter or anything. It's good. It just like doesn't taste like any kind of mac and cheese. It tastes like a soup, a very not liquidy soup. And then this is something that I actually filmed a while ago, like a month ago or longer. You can see that my hair looks quite different, but I completely forgot to put it in a video. It was just sitting in my phone camera roll. Anyways, I got the Boba My Jamba. Jamba Boba a month ago. I got their Gacha Matcha, which I liked the first time I had it, but now I don't know, have I become more of a matcha snob? Probably, but it's just okay. It's really sweet though, I noticed this time. I also got the seasonal pumpkin drink, whatever it's called, I don't remember. The vegan version, because you can get a dairy version or a non-dairy version, and it is so freaking rich. Like it would be cool if I just had like a couple sips, but that's like all I want. Tastes like they put like whole coconut milk in it, like the can, like so much of it in there. It tastes like you're just drinking pumpkin pie. I don't like it. I mean, I like it. I like the first sip, and then that's like about it. I really feel like Jamba Juice should just stick to smoothies and smoothie adjacent things, like normal smoothies. Cause yeah, trying their other kinds of drinks just makes me want a normal smoothie so bad. Oh yeah, and the boba was also just fine. It was like little baby bobas, you know, the little ones, and they were like more jelly-ish than boba. They weren't bad, but they're not boba. Like if you want boba and you get this, you'll be disappointed. And then another thing that I filmed and then left in my camera roll and forgot about, I wanted to show that even though you can't get the most famous fall drink, the pumpkin spice latte, veganized at Starbucks, there is 2 drinks that you can get vegan without adjusting anything. Is the apple crisp macchiato. It's quite good. And also the brown sugar shaken espresso, which isn't really a fall drink, but it has brown sugar and cinnamon flavors in it. Okay, lastly on this capitalism segment, we have some Beyond Meat jerky that I found at Target. It looks like a dehydrated chicken nugget or like fried chicken skin. I don't know. The flavor was good, of course, because it's Beyond Meat, but the texture, I was like, do I just not like jerky? Because I would expect Beyond Meat to know what they're doing, but it just seems so dry and so hard to chew that it was just like labor, you know? Too much. And I personally prefer the Louisville jerky. I love that stuff. I'm like, is this just how jerky is? Because honestly, as someone who went vegan as like a 14-year-old girl, I didn't have a lot of non-vegan jerky in my life. I feel like I've eaten real jerky like once, if even. So I'm not the person to ask, but let me tell you, it was quite chewy. Here I'm showing you what I'm doing with the end of my matcha container. There's just like a little bit in there and I just hate to waste it, you know? Usually when I am at the end of like a bag or a container of matcha, I will combine it with coffee. If it's not enough for a matcha latte, I will combine it with coffee and have a matcha coffee latte. And I don't know, it's fun. It's just coffee with a matcha-y flavor thrown in there. And so I'm using my Javi coffee. This is just the regular flavor and mixing it with a little bit of water. You don't have to do this. You can put it straight into your milk for extra creaminess, you know? But since my milk is already like extra creamy milk, I'm just adding some water to stretch out the coffee, you know? And again, you can go to buy.javi.com/Emily Ewing or click the link in the description and you can get 25% off using my code Emily Ewing. And I'm adding a bunch of ice and I put the coffee at the bottom and then the milk and then the matcha so that it makes a fun little color, you know? I also didn't expect this drink to look so beautifully fall like it does. Very yummy, very delish. If you never tried matcha coffee, try it out, but only if you're drinking it like before 5 p.m. So last thing for this video is one of my favorite dinners to make in the colder months, like a good cozy comforting meal. I love it so much. Baked sweet potatoes with a bunch of veggies and legumes on top. I had a bunch of Brussels sprouts that I showed in a previous video during a grocery haul, and I still hadn't used them yet, and they were still good. They weren't like mushy or moldy or anything, but they just had like some yellow and like limpy leaves on the outside. So I just peeled those off, and then underneath they're like perfectly good. And then I cut them all up and put them in a bowl, and then I put 2 cans of chickpeas in the bowl as well, a bunch of olive oil, a bunch of seasonings, and stirred that all together, and then put it on a pan. But you see, you gotta preheat the pan to really get them toasted better and quicker. And you can hear that sizzle when they hit the pan. It's like they start cooking immediately. And you can have the pan preheating while you're like cutting up your stuff, you know, so it like works out well. And the best way to do it is to put all the Brussels sprouts like flat side down onto the pan, you know, so you really get that like charredness. But I don't care that much, so I just, you know, flipped some of them. It takes too long. Okay, if you really want it to be perfect and crisp, like restaurant Brussels sprouts, go right ahead, but I just did like maybe half of them. And then I also wanted to add some greens, but we didn't have very much greens, so I had to resort to my frozen spinach, which I also didn't have that much of, but you know, it's fine. I sprinkled that on there and then put it on broil for a little bit longer. And then I also got to use my Wicked Kitchen pesto for the first time. I had this beetroot one and it's like made out of cashews, so it's really creamy and rich. Yeah, so I cut open my sweet potato and I spread that on, and then I put all my veggies on top. Since the pesto kind of has like a garlicky and like smoky flavor to it, I thought barbecue sauce would work greatly, and I love barbecue sauce, so I also put some barbecue sauce on there on top. This was a very delicious. I loved it a lot. But yeah, anyways, thank you for watching this video and getting to the end of it. I very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stick around till the next video. We're coming up on November, so be sure to look out for some Thanksgiving content. I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet, but there'll be some. So, you know, get ready. Mac and cheese, potatoes, turkey loaves, and sweet potatoes, and pumpkin pie, and apple pie, and green beans, and pecan pie, and stuffing, probably. And yeah. Goodbye.